you were obviously involved with the creative freedom side of GamerGate, and some political activists believed that using social media campaigns to demand artists change artistic elements of their work was a good thing. What did you think of this tactic?
That I I always prefer that, like whenever possible, the artistic vision not being compromised. I mean, there's the business aspect of it to be considered too, and it's, like I said, even if it's a game that's absolutely not made for me, that's no reason not to make it. But at the same time, if it's, they're changing, like a new entry in a franchise to be, you know, the complete opposite of the ones that came before, I'm not saying, like dogpile them and let them never get a moment's rest until they repent of their ways or whatever. But at the same time, would at least like enough of it to know that this is going to like lose you the audience, like some of the audience you had before. Are you sure you want to go this route? Where like don't want to force them, but like you will probably lose me if you make this choice.
So
But the choice is yours to make.
you're talking about the developers like deciding to make decisions rather than like what do
Right.
you think of the people themselves? Were you involved in pushing back against some of this stuff? I know you mentioned on Twitter you were talking about it.
Like I remember like pushing against like stuff like oh yeah, that was one that I remember I imported after they demanded it be banned, but a game I didn't particularly like, but Dead or Alive Extreme 3, the beach volleyball game,
Yeah.
where that was like okay, it's not getting released in the U.S. and that became like that like people were celebrating that as a victory, and just like where it also got pushed back in some ways where like some of the like some voice actors pointed out that if this had gotten a Western release, that all of the women in this entirely female cast would have been cast and gotten paychecks on it. You just cost them all jobs. So there
Well,
was kind of a sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Finish your point. I'll ask a follow up.
Right there was kind of this whole aspect of just ban this because it's sexist, and then like but you just hurt women. That was kind of as soon as that was brought up, it kind of stopped. Like the conversation was not followed up on from there on their end. I felt.
Do you think there's any value in the criticism that look, this Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball thing, it really is probably like way too far. It's actually sexist or whatever. Let's just oh sorry, let me steel man them. That video games like Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball um, promote a culture of the male gaze where you're you're trying to objectify women and treat them like fictional video game characters in this case, but still like fictional
Yeah,
female characters, and treat them like they're sexual objects, and that's like not good.
I mean the point that came up a few times was it's not just straight men who like looking at attractive women. It's fictional or otherwise, but and of course there's the aspect of yes, they are fictional. It's not real. Like there's no link between what happens on screen and in real life in terms of violence and as far as we've seen in sexism either. So I mean, like I could see like I think like the appropriate measure to take with that is the one we already have, like the ESRB warning. Not for little kids. Like once you're mature enough for the game, you make your own choice.
Do you think there are ways to criticize video games for elements that you perceive as being sexist or overly violent without it being a form of censorship or advocacy for censorship?
Mm, I mean, I think honestly, it's if you don't try to like if you're not trying to get like-minded people to join the cause and brigade against it, but just like the way I look at a lot of cases is it's not for me. Like if I wanted to do like a full critique of something, like I didn't care for this, I didn't care for this, I didn't care for this, and that's why it's not for me. If that's not an issue for you, maybe you'll enjoy it.